want to introduce the guest to my right. So Josh Chan in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Raiden in Mortal Kombat I, Jeff in The Ghost and Molly McGee is in Raya and the Last Dragon, Jimmy Yang in Another Period. Everyone say hello to Vincent Rodriguez III.
Hello.
And I saw the I also saw the PSA video. Let's see, I just saw it a couple minutes ago, and that was great. That was fantastic.
Oh
I
gosh,
actually I got to know I got to know there was somebody that did a Filipino PSA. I want to make sure I got the title right. And I actually there's a couple of Filipino families that were in charge of, gosh, what was it? America's National Teenager Pageant or something like that. And they were just, lovely folks. Brought me down for a couple. I'm a singer, performer, whatever. So they had me as a singing guest for the thing. Awesome. And just, wonderful. So as I'm watching this video, I'm like having flashbacks of things that I watched happen to them. I'm just like, oh God.
Just
man.
Like, it's real. We're real. We're real. The Filipino experience is real.
Yeah.
We are one of the many Asians. It's funny you mentioned Jimmy O Yang, because when we did Another Period together, I thought to myself, wait a minute, another Asian person who like this is happening, or actually like AAPI representations happen. Like I'm Filipino and he's Chinese, and I'm friends with Jimmy O Yang now. And then of course, like he's huge. So I just love that you mentioned him. I was like, oh my gosh, Another Period. I remember that's the first time I worked with him. And then I worked with him again. Yeah, I worked with him again on I don't think you saw this yet, but if you YouTube this is real. The BTS music video, Wasted on Me, featuring Steve Aoki. I am in that music video with Joe Coy, Jimmy O Yang, and Ken Jeong.
Oh,
and Leonardo Nam.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm in a BTS music video, and I often forget to mention that to people, but it was with Jimmy. He was learning a rap song, and because we had to do a lip sync, and learning raps and learning music on the spot is one of my skills. So on drives to like Palm Springs or LA or back up to my hometown San Francisco, I'd listen to songs. And you ever have a song, Jamie, that you're in love with? You don't look up the lyrics. You enjoy it so much. It's like a piece of food that you only want to get a slice of, and then you put the rest away for later. So on a long drive, I'm like, ooh, I just get to like slowly eat this cake of music. And so I'll learn it line by line. I'll just keep repeating it. Learn a line, sing it, go back, listen to it, learn the first line, sing this first line, learn the second line together, sing that, learn it, go back to the beginning of the song, and just do that until I know the first verse, and then I just kind of sing it to myself. So I've taught myself how to do that, and I love doing it with rap songs. So when I was with Jimmy, I was like, oh man, I'm so glad I learned how to do that, because now I was able to like focus on these lyrics. And I mean, doing in a lip sync video that isn't of my voice, I was like, oh, this is fun. I had to lip sync for my life, and I didn't even know it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So like I've got about 1 million things that I do. And one of them is I have a karaoke company because I'm a singer, songwriter, and all that kind of stuff. But I got my start in the Elvis realm. Mm-hmm. And when I was like 11 months old was the first time I was ever on stage in an Elvis outfit. So started early.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We all went there.
Oh, totally. And
in Filipino households, we had Elvis and Frank Sinatra was blasted.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll tell you this. If you ever went to a Lowe's and you saw the little singing Elvis Christmas ornaments, if you have any of those, that's my voice.
I love that. How many people get to say that, man?
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
So like one of the things that I do, so what you were talking about, like line by line, I did that for the guide vocals. I started a karaoke company called Just Awesome Karaoke to sell tracks to impersonators, because after I stopped doing all the shows and started doing my own, all that kind of stuff, I thought, well, I need to do something with all of this knowledge. So then I started a karaoke company, and then the guide vocals, I wanted them like dead on. So I would learn the lines like that, so that way the timing and the emotional inflection and all of that stuff is in there. So it's same application, same different thing, but same application basically.
No, that's very kind of you, because like you said, like being artists, we often aren't just one thing. So I definitely 100% relate. I think many of us are actually multi-hyphenates. We don't start off thinking that because of the industry, and
everybody puts you in a little box and says, "This is your box. Don't get out."
That's a nice way of saying, "Wow, I'm so glad you said it, and then I didn't have to say it." But you're used to that, and you start to identify as that, even though that's not really who you are, which I find fascinating. And so, so in the last few years since pandemic, I've been doing a lot of research on psychology and mental health, mental fitness, because we were all shaken up, and then it continued through the SAG-AFTRA strike, and then I lost my trainer, my dear friend, and with fires in LA. So it just felt like, so amidst the chaos, they say that the calmest spot in a storm is in the eye of it. So I felt like I was in the middle of it, seeing it go by so fast. And one of the things I realized, like what you're saying, is there's a lot of things I'm really good at and that I love, that I have a lot of time. Like I've spent so much time in my life doing and paying attention to and creating a relationship to. Like I'm getting excited right now just thinking about it, because like when you're doing something that you're super interested in, like some of you like drawing, some of you love reading books, some of you love crocheting, some of you love just like listening to different types of music and getting lost in it. You're a musicophile or what's that called? Like the people who are addicted to music. Audiophile. You're an audiophile, which sounds like audiophile, F-I-L-E. But so like I love martial arts, I love musical theater, I love rap songs, and I love rom-coms, and I love action adventure, and I'm a Ninja Turtle kid. I'm a comic book kid. That's me actually as Nightwing.
Oh, that's you're gonna love this.
Oh, dude, Donatello, man, you're gonna love this. I literally have.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, you're muted. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you know. You're muted.
Oh no, I was muted. Oh no, martial arts is one of my things. That's what
that's So I've got the full suit, and
oh my gosh.
And you see through the eye, you see through underneath the mask, just like in the but
I remember. So I used to be able to quote that movie. I remember it's moving.
Yeah.
Cricket. You're gonna. I mean, all this quote in my head. It's like, oh my gosh. I learned a spinning back hook kick from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 when Kino did that spinning back hook box, and he kicked the guy, kicked the guy in the face, and made him go like this, and then he did a sweep, and then the guy fell, and then I even remember his ki. Like I remember.
That's awesome.
You're just mimicking stuff, right? And so you're saying the same thing. So I was mimicking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I learned to swing a bow staff for the first time because I was a kid and loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh my God, that's so wild. That was my favorite. I wore out that box. I wore out that VHS.
Yep. Same.
I truly did. And so, I just want to give you props because that's really cool that you started a karaoke company and you paid attention to all that detail, because some people who are singers, who are not singers, karaoke's their gateway. Like they don't have to sound right, or it's like exactly like the original artist. But then when there's a guide, that helps people learn music, and it's not the artist. So there's a kind of a detachment almost from the artist, and they can find their voice within someone else's voice. That's also how I learned a lot of music as a kid, because I didn't really like Frank Sinatra.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't like Elvis. I was just aware of him and how he sang, and I could do it a little bit, but I was doing musical theater and singing NSYNC music and Boyz II Men and all that stuff as a kid. So anyway, it sounds like we're both just super nerdy artists who love all the things.
Totally. So one of my channels is called the EAP Society. It stands for Elvis Archival Preservation, and it's all about like preserving Elvis history and different things. We're doing events with like pieces of Elvis history and all this, and like we're preserving 33 ring binders about that thick of photos, documents, journal entries, and different things from a fan club that got access to everything, including Elvis's mother's funeral. Crazy amount of stuff. And like, yeah, I'm an archivist at heart. So like, if you give me like a pile of stuff to like scan or whatever, and then I'll go on. Yeah.
You don't know what's in there, but it's a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
This is just the magic cabinet. And then there's technology down here, and there's just books and sheet music is there. Binders are there.
I love it.
It's so much. I get you. I totally get you. It's because you love it, man.
Exactly. When you have a passion for something, and kind of like, well, just like you were just saying, like when you have a passion for something, we started the EAP Society in 2022. So a couple years after, the pandemic is, well, I mean, it's still here, but anyway, but like when things were starting to kind of ramp back up again, and I thought, you know what, there's a buddy of mine that had been bugging me, and it's like, okay, mm-hmm. I need to get going. And now it's really grown, and it's really, but we'll have to talk at some point. I'd love to get you on the Jacklife channel once I've got that up and running and talk turtles forever. But
sure. I mean, I grew up hardcore. I probably have Ninja Turtle stories that would blow your mind. I probably have Ninja Turtle stories, plural, that would blow your mind.
Very nice. I love it.
My husband gave me these for my birthday, which was last month, and I happen to be wearing them today.
Oh, so, happy birthday. Well, I mean, happy belated birthday.
Yeah. Thank you.
Totally. That's so cool. Oh, Kristen asked, what is your dream Broadway role?
Oh, gosh. Well, I know there was already a revival of this in the West End that they tried getting here, but it's called a show called Crazy for You. And it's Susan Stroman's original version, which is a licensed version because her choreography was so brilliant and still is brilliant. And if her name sounds familiar, it's because she was the choreographer of The Producers movie. And on Broadway, Producers on Broadway, Contact, the revival of Music Man that was like over a decade ago, not the Hugh Jackman one, but the one before that. So Susan Stroman's like a prolific Broadway choreographer, and I grew up learning tap and how to dance from watching her dancers and watching her shows. So there was like a handful of choreographers I would learn from, and she was one of them. And so that was one of the obsessions I had was Susan was one of them. And I always wanted to do Crazy for You and play Bobby Child, who this is like who he is. He's a rich kid who has a really overbearing mom who has a big company that she wants him to take over, but he doesn't want to because all he wants to do is dance in musicals.
That's awesome.
And so he's friends with all the theater people, but he's not in a show because his mom doesn't think that's a viable thing. And I'm like,
right.
That's literally how I grew up. And so his first song is Can't Be Bothered Now. So he has to tour a theater, and his mom is like yelling at him, and then they're saying he has to make business decisions, and he's just like, and then all of a sudden, ping, and he just stares at the audience as if, and they're still talking at him, and he's just like,
right.
Bad news, go away, go around someday. And so it's just, I was just like, musical theater, like more.
Oh, I love it.
So that would be probably, that's definitely one that I want to play. Plus it's the closest to a Gene Kelly part that isn't a Gene Kelly musical, because I love Gene Kelly and I love all his original choreography. I'm an archivist in a way. I learn and teach original choreography by the artist or the show. So I would learn auditions, combinations from being in New York and audition, because you audition and then you get called back and you learn it. And I would watch those numbers on the Tony Awards or look up when they were performed on the morning show, and I would learn them. And then I would teach them in my master classes whenever I teach, and I would use it as the curriculum. Like I wouldn't take ownership of it. I'd say I teach the choreography and talk about the choreographer, what the influences were, how these now are seen in these types of shows, and what the basis of the movement is and how it applies to other genres. Like, because like you said, once you know something, you have a way of communicating it to other people, and that way
100%.
could be their way of going, oh, well, that's more convenient and accessible than it was before I met you. And I'm like, yeah, my next master class isn't.
Totally.
But
Well, that's exactly it, because I think a lot of times, especially for such a long time, we as a society have kind of had this idea of, oh, well, don't talk about it. Social media has killed this, but like for a long time, it was like, well, don't talk about yourself too much. Don't, you don't want people to think you are egotistical. You don't think, some people don't care and they just do it anyway. But like now now everything is so fragmented. If you don't talk about yourself, no one else is going to do it. So it's going to have to be you. And well, okay. And, and unless I win the lottery, in that case, where I'm going to give Gary a call and we'll be good.
Great. Hi, Gary.
Bring him. Yeah. But yeah, and so I think that things that we can do as like the next generation of some of this stuff is contextualize this and really get people to understand it's not just somebody who kind of liked dancing or kind of liked to sing or kind of like whatever. There's an art.
There's an actual
it's an actual art. There's like something because
yep.
And even the fan bases, as like I find this in the Elvis. I mean, not to keep bringing it back to Elvis, but like the Elvis fandom for the longest time has had this opinion that, well, he was a pretty guy that liked to sing and he sang well and he looked good and he moved and he came around at the right time and he got lucky. I mean, all of those things are true, but there's a conscientious artist in there. And even though he never talked like that, doesn't mean that it's not reality. And that's true for so many artists of that generation, because I think the Beatles were the first ones that were openly talking about, well, I took this and I took this and this and this and put them together. As like, this happened for a lot of different artists, just that they just didn't feel the need to talk about it. So that kind of becomes our job in a way to contextualize that to further generations so they understand it.
Absolutely. I'm gonna bet on that. Say yes and yes.
Cool.
Also, you said it so well. When you do reach a certain level of knowing, that should not be kept.
Yep.
That should actually be shared. And I know a lot of people are under the thought like, well, don't share it. Don't give to, like, no one deserves to know you or get to know you on that intimate level unless you welcome them in, because we're all very special. We're all stars. We're all different. We all shine a certain way, and we're all filled with greatness, like that possibility of various lanes of greatness. And it's up to you to choose who you want to be and unlock those things, but you have to be willing to discover what they are, which means you need to be curious and you have to be in search. And that means you have to be a version of Indiana Jones who is going to look for the Temple of Doom, but we never talk about how long he's looking.
Right.
So we're all looking for some kind of artifact, something that other people don't see exists, don't believe exists, but we believe it exists and we look for it. And I think artists like Elvis was trying to find something that was his. Yeah. And just like Lady Gaga, it's the same way. And it's really cool I'm not going to say it's cool to grow up, but it's cool to evolve. Yeah. As an artist through years of experience. And that means good and bad. That means being in voiceover booths at Warner Brothers. That means waiting for waiting at the open call at Actors Equity or at Ripley Greer in New York City, or doing a self-tape for this really special casting office in LA that you signed an NDA. You can't tell anyone you were there. Right. Through all those things, even down to like the bank account is low and you got to do your side hustle. Many people don't know what your side hustle is, or you have other streams of income that you've knocked on throughout your journey as an artist, because it's so difficult and it's so up and down. But I'd say the one thing that makes it really cool for those of us who perceive this passing down of information and using this enthusiasm, you said it already. When we were young, we were aspiring, we were looking up, and we're just looking for inspiration. And I can tell you all of my inspiration right now. You say musicals, I would name them. I name the performances, name the people. You'd say martial artists, I would tell you the movies, I tell you the moves. like tap, I tell you the people, I tell you the dance, the songs, like, you know, like I know that so well. And I've auditioned and had callbacks and had success and booked things and been behind the curtain. It's like, I'm where the guy where the wizard is. Like, it's not, you know, I'm the man behind, I've been behind the curtain.
Right.
Like, I know how to pull the levers, and I know how, and I know, just like many of us artists know, how much humanity is there. And that also comes with this uncertainty, this common, this equalizer for all humans, which is none of us know what's coming. We can't, you know, we really don't 100% know. You could say you have a hunch, and most of the time you're always right. You could say that.
Right.
But none of us really know. And what's cool about artists and people who are really successful in this way that you're talking about, the reason why we're successful, Elvis, Lady Gaga, is they jumped off the cliff knowing they didn't know if they'd land.
Right.
And that's every take as an actor, ideally. I don't think Quentin Tarantino wants you to do something you planned at home.
Yeah.
No, he wants it different. He wants it alive. He wants to feel like you're alive, and we happen to be capturing it. And I think that is like the foundation of acting, is creating something real based on an idea you have, and the collaborative process that involves being inspired by other people's ideas, whose job it is to inspire you or direct your vision, so that we're all telling the same story, which ultimately leads to a product that is nowhere near what we could have created if we made it on our own.
Exactly.
It's a sum of so many influences, and not just the people who made it, but all the things that it influenced those people to do that job.
Yeah.
You know, so I hear what you're saying. I love this idea that you and I, particularly because we're talking about it, like to give that back and help the people who are building it now. Because a lot of them, yes, have there's a lot of data out there. Everyone has the option of learning whatever they want. You know, it's attention. Cash is not king anymore. It's attention. I get it. I get it. You know, so how do I capture your attention? And I study this. Believe it, based on all my research, it doesn't matter if you're an artist or not. When you tell the truth and you are authentically you, there's an empathetic response every human being, whether they know it or not, will have to you. And that's why we love certain comedians, because that's not fake. None of that is fake. They are feeling awkward, and you are laughing because they have a relationship to what made them feel awkward, because that's what we're watching. We're watching a story. And that's the other part. We're all storytellers. We're addicted to story. We're addicted to relating to one another. And
that's how we're wired.
That's how we're wired. And now some actors do it through being different characters and telling stories. Some of us do it through telling stories through music, or some of us do it through creating moods and energies and ideas, not necessarily literally with the words, but with just the overall composition of a song. Like listening to Once the Musical is different than listening to Lady Gaga's latest album versus listening to one of my favorite musicals, maybe Happy Ending, starring Darren Criss, or my new favorite musical, The Outsiders. Oh my gosh. One of the best musicals I've ever seen. The Outsiders, you're not ready. None of you, if you've never seen a musical, or it's been a while since you've seen a musical, whatever, and you're in New York and you want to see a Broadway show, there is no question. You go see The Outsiders and you see what musical theater, the future of musical theater is, and what it truly can be. It's a marvel, kind of like Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Though those are two live stories that blew, like we know what it's like to be in movement classes, doing yoga, doing like exercise, doing acting exercises and stuff. And a lot of you who are listening to this also know this. But man, it just takes so much like commitment to play pretend and believe in yourself when you do it, knowing you don't know if what you're about to do is going to be funny or exactly what you want it to be. But those of us who have done it so many times and keep trying and keep throwing ourselves off the cliff, eventually we get addicted to that feeling leading up to it. And eventually we learn to fly because we have a relationship to taking the risk. And that's what every take is. That's why there are blooper reels, you know, and they're horrible, or they're, or like the most serious actor, and they're doing this fucking, like, no, it's just, oh, bloody hell, can you get that? It's so tight, just shit. Okay, back to one. And they're just like, whoa, you just stepped out of who you were to be you, and you went right back to okay.
Like exactly. It's just like,
and we can do that. Like human beings can do that. Not all of us believe we can, but that's, I think, why we like to teach, and like we like to show people like, actually you can do this. It's hard, you know, because it makes you feel stuff and it's overwhelming.
It can be, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, singing some songs, man, you know, there are some songs you don't listen to unless you're in that mood. I have musicals like that. I'm like, nope, every 3 months, only every 3 months. Only every 3 months.
Oh my gosh. It's funny when you were talking about like breaking and things like that, just to kind of surprise people. Like I've got and Trevor, I see your question. I'll get to that here in a second. I have a almost movie perfect Captain Jack costume that I drag out every so often on Halloween. And I don't drink. I'm like, I'm not, my alcohol screws with my stomach, so I can't. So I'm always the DD. So what's really funny is, you know, this person that is walking around like this. You know?
That's it. That's really it. All three of the things he made the character. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And they're thinking, and so you see me walk, and it's funny to watch people watch me walk to the driver's thing and get in and going, oh, this is not going to go well, and then they're like shocked when it's fine. But the first time I did it was in Las Vegas, and a bouncer at the front stopped me. He says, "Sir, you can't come in." "What are you joking? What do you mean?" "Sir, you're drunk, go home." And so I dropped. I'm like, I can't actually drink, so the only thing drier than me is the sand. And you see this look of panic come on his face, and he's like, don't worry about the $20 cover, just come on in.
It's like embarrassed. He's like, sorry, you just gave me a performance. You just won an Oscar in my brain. So you just come right in. And I'm sorry.
No. So I think he thought I was gonna like call a manager or something, but which is fine, because we were there for 5 minutes. Like, it's all right. The most fun in Vegas for Halloween is just walking up and down the strip and seeing the costumes. If you ever, that is. I saw like movie perfect costumes from The Mask, both Jim Carrey and the villain. They were walking. Anyway, so, but yes, no,
it's fun.
It is so much fun, just to give people those pieces of character and just watch again, lessons in psychology.
It's play. It's play.
That's exactly.
It's play. Hawkins. I bet you say that dance and martial arts have some commonalities. Which one surprised you to figure out?
It's a great question.
T. Hawkins, you caught me red-handed. There is a seminar and a talk that I am writing, and it's about the marriage of martial arts and dance. Just like Gene Kelley did with Anatomy of a Dancer, he showed how sports was very dance-esque. And it was neat. He showed, jumping, like doing a 3-pointer, or he showed throwing a baseball, and he just did it slower, and like would use his a palm on his shoulder, and use his lat, and because I wasn't great at ballet when I first took it. In fact, that wasn't the first dance I learned. I was very untrained. And people were like, "Oh my God, you're such a good dancer. You should take ballet." And I'm like, but I'm a good dancer. No. You need ballet because it's a foundation for all dance. And that's exactly what it was. I didn't like it. It was really painful. It was really hard. But discipline, which is like my first black belt in Shotokan when I was 12. And then getting my second one my junior year of high school, knowing what it was like to train for a black belt. Extra workouts, extra classes, hundreds of push-ups, being hit, being punched, holding push-up positions for long periods of time, horse dances, and they're hitting your legs, being in a fight and being so tired, but you can't leave,
Right.
So, it's just all this conditioning that is just creating resilience within an art form. They just happens to be One is a little violent, seemingly violent, and the other isn't seemingly violent. But dance, to me, T. Hawkins, you brought out an admittance for me. So if any of you are watching, here's my coming clean. I have a secret. The secret is the last few years that I've been taking dance classes since pandemic, it's not because I wanted to change careers and only become a dancer. I was actually suffering, just like many others, from depression. Mm-hmm. And I would see these little notes on Instagram saying, you know, why dance is like the #1 cure for depression. And of course, we hear these things and we think we're being sold. Right. But then more data just keeps coming through because the phone's listening, and it's all this science-based knowledge. And I found myself taking more dance classes. I started teaching Groove 3, which is a hip hop cardio dance format that my friend Ben Allen made. And he teaches instructors, and instructors have these classes, and it's all levels, and it's taught in a specific, repeatable way so that a group of people who have never danced before can do it. And if they take it again, they can learn all kinds of choreography every class without being overwhelmed, and get that sweat going, and still listen to the funnest songs, like the top, you know, songs that make you want to dance anyway. And so I got addicted to that because I loved I realized community was also what I needed. And so in that way, T. Hawkins, dance was my way of holding on to and keeping to my side the discipline I have for martial arts, because I haven't been doing martial arts that much since I was a kid. But the 11 years I was in New York, it says martial artist. When I got to Hollywood, people ask, and I always include, I'm a martial artist. And there's a bow staff there. There are nunchucks in my car. I have multiple Arnis Eskrima sticks, like right here. I have a sword as well. Like, I have commas in that cabinet. Like, you know, it's like, I know how to stretch for a round off back handspring and a back tuck and an aerial, and like, but I didn't use these tools. And I guess the reason why I'm saying this is because I always identified as a martial artist up here, even though I didn't do it. So when I started taking all this dance to cure this feeling I was having, and trying to literally shake my body out of feeling crappy, you know, just to shake, because that's how you do it. If you want to shake your brain state, you just move your body, because when the body moves, the brain grooves, as Jim Quick would say. See, Jim,
I love that.
I'm giving you credit, Jim. I learned a lot of things during the pandemic, and researching Jim Quick studies on how to speed read and feed your brain, and how to like kind of advocate for yourself and your development. I was paying attention to all these different authors and thought gurus, thought leaders, TED talkers, influencers, YouTubers who spoke so eloquently about their journey, what made them want to give back and share and teach. And I just got hooked. And then I had all these epiphanies, like, oh my gosh, I've been teaching since I graduated college. I should teach more. So I started to teach more. I started to do more master classes and intensives. I've taught in Manila. I've taught at my alumni PCPA, the Pacific Conservatory of Performing Arts in Santa Maria. I've taught at my old high school, Westmore High School. Like, I would just go back and teach wherever I could. And I've taught in places all over the United States. And it varies. Your high school drama club is doing West Side Story, and you want a 2-hour workshop on stage combat.
Yeah.
And I have 2 hours to teach you the basis of stage combat so you can do the fight scenes that exist in West Side Story. And I was a Chino, and I auditioned to be a Jet. So I killed my body doing the shark steak. And then I'm doing Chino, and he's just like a mess of emotions. And then I'm the fight captain, and I'm fixing fights that were not set by a fight director or a stage combat specialist, was set by a choreographer, and we didn't have the money, and it was just dangerous, to be honest. So this is no offense to the choreographer. This is just this is just an act that happens quite often, gets overlooked, and it affects the artistic standard of the fight, which affects the story. So now the story is not as compelling because you earned it to this moment, and now the fight happens, and you're like, now you don't believe the story as much. And so I was making these adjustments with dancers and actors. So that it would hit, and I talked to them in that language. whatever
Nice.
their language was.
Yep.
And it was so cool because if they're musicians, I could say, okay, so remember this punch has to happen right after he does that. So think of that as your standby. And then when you enter, this is the breath and this is the exhale, because the breath dictates what happens next. So if I go,
yep,
then it's a quick, but if it's, then it comes out that way. So I was teaching all these things and teaching where the exhale was and how to, you know, when you throw this back, give me a nice ha, make sure it's low because it's going to match. It's going to collide with that high pitch sound that happens right after you. Because orally, we need to experience the fight too. And so in 2 hours, somehow, thanks to my assistant, Daniel Velasco, who's an amazing actor, I did it.
Awesome.
I don't know. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty! No, it's like I did it. I don't know how we did this, but we did it. And so, you know, I guess passion and expertise and just being in the flow and being a theater kid again and being like, I think these are the basic tools you'll need to do it. Now create. And they did great. They were able to do very safe things, hair pulls. They knew jabs, responses. Like they knew they knew how to put it in their bodies. They knew how to like grapple with one another without hurting one another. And like you can take it to the ground if you want. There's a way to do it, you know? So it was just so cool when you see young performers light up with a concept and they run with it. And it's so good. It's not like they're done. It's like, it's perfect, but you see that they're really interested and all they do is get better the more they do it. That's what happens when you repeat stuff. Sorry, I talk a lot.
No, you're fine. And that's the inspiration for that. Well, I've got one that kind of leads into that to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You were okay. So, what are you? What degree black belt are you?
I am first degree black belt in Shotokan and first degree black belt in Taekwondo.
Very cool. All right. So that leads into, how did you get involved with the Mortal Kombat franchise? Having some martial arts in your background. Okay, I'm going to modify this. It must be fun to play a martial artist, but I'm also going to say, how did that impact how you approached the role? And and shout out to the OG Raiden. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to start off with a shout out. Carlos Piscina, pretty sure I've seen you in other things when I was a kid. You're amazing. I've been inspired by you. So thank you for being a part of the DNA that makes me an artist today. Because I truly was. Like, I love Jackie Chan movies. I watched all martial artists. I watched behind the scenes of things. I think I saw behind the scenes of Mortal Kombat. So I've seen your work when you were just doing mocap. And I was inspired. And I thought one day maybe I'll do that. Now I haven't done mocap.
Okay.
But I have done on-camera action fighting. I did it in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I've done Taebo in a garage to a Billy Blanks Taebo video, wearing nothing but shorts and sneakers, looking 168 pounds jacked and ripped, doing spinning jump back hook kicks.
Nice.
That I choreographed because they didn't choreograph someone. They're like, you're just doing Taebo. And I'm like, all right. So I choreographed a sequence that looked like Taebo. And then I added things that weren't Taebo because it had to be flashy because there was a line of dialogue. Well, one of the lines of dialogue they added on the day in the moment. It was by Keenan or Chris Red. One of them said, he's like a Mortal Kombat character. And I was like, like, he was like, who is he fighting? Like, because I was like really mad. I was like, who's he fighting? An aggressive ghost? And I was like, oh my God, this is too fun. Focus. So martial, I'd say martial arts has just kind of always been in the background for me. And so when it came to auditioning for the voice of a video game character, they actually didn't tell me that that's what it was for.
Oh.
So imagine me being in a slew of, I don't know, maybe a few hundred over the year. No, like let's say 100 in a year of voiceover auditions. And in the beginning, I didn't book a lot of them, most of them, honestly. It took my agent to ask for a favor to get me hired, but she said that she said that she would help me in that way, not because she thought I wasn't very good, but she said, I can hear your tapes and they're very good. These are great reads. And I don't know why you're not booking, but I think you just need some encouragement. You need to get in the booth. So I did. And I did the English voiceover, the English dub for White Snake, a Chinese animated feature film. Did well in that. So they had me do Nudja, which was years ago. And of course, Nudja 2 came out in theaters everywhere this past February and became the 5th highest grossing animated feature film of all time.
Very cool.
And then I get an email saying, do you want to reprise your role in Nudja 2? We need to do the English dub of the second movie. I had no idea what happened with the movie release. So I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I did last year, English dub, no worries. It's not a huge gig. It's a modest gig, but I want to do it because I love doing it the first time, and I want to reprise my role as Li Jing. Then I get to the recording studio and they're like, oh, did they tell you? I'm like, tell me what? This movie is getting a full global theatrical release because it's the highest grossing animated feature film of all time and the 5th highest grossing movie of all time, and playing your opposite you as your wife is Michelle Yeoh, just so you know. And I'm like, what is that now? Cool. I'll just bring it back. I just got it. And I opened the door, I closed it, and it went. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, and then we all had a good laugh at it, and it was great. But the reason why I tell that story is because that was in the beginning of my voiceover career, and one of the things I learned is voiceover. There's a big difference between voiceover acting and like acting on a camera or on stage is nothing. It's acting.
Yeah, it's all acting. Yeah.
And you can interplace that quote of me doing that with Jason Alexander, and goodness knows how many other actors who have said the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So with that lesson, I was just acting in my reads and really embodying the characters. And when I got this one, this is trippy. The audition for Mortal Kombat, they said it's a video game, and they were vague. And they said, they didn't say the producers, they just said it's a video game. It's an epic one that's very well known. There's a character here, new guy. We're waiting for a breakdown of a few lines of, like 5 words. What?
Interesting.
What? So I went, okay. And they gave me one log line. They described the universe and they say, he's and like, in the world where monks like this character are called to action, we need him to help be a hero and gather people to help save people or whatever. I don't remember. Like I'm totally ruining it. But then it said, if you have an Asian accent, please turn in one read without and one read with. So when I was developing my character, I thought, well, if it's an Asian accent and he's like a monk type or has these qualities, I'm like Bruce Lee. So I'm listening to Bruce Lee on YouTube and I'm mimicking him, getting the comp, getting the song, getting the texture, getting his point of view and how he's saying things. I was like, wow, he's very philosophical. I like that. I think that's a part of this guy. He's like a priest. He's a monk. He's okay. So I did that. So I created my own Asian accented version of that. And then when I did the English version, I just took the accent part out, but kept the song, the tonality and the approach. And I applied it without the Asian accent. And I got it. And then when I got it, I got an email saying, because it wasn't the code name anymore. It was like the actual thing. And it said it said MK1. And I'm like, no. And then it said the role of Raiden. I'm like, no. That was my response.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I love that.
So then you get it, and it's of course 3 years can't talk about it.
Sure.
And Dominic, who helped create Mortal Kombat, director of Mortal Kombat, he's just directing me. He's like an actor, like on a set. He's like, all right, so this just happened. Okay, these are just taunts, or this is a story. This is what just happened, and you feel this way, and there's a little behind the scenes there. So it's what you do if you read a script, but it's different because you're not reading it. You're downloading it orally from the men who helped create it. And so now it's true play pretend when you were a kid. Oh, do it like that, but do it like you're a really angry policeman. Okay, now do it like you're a bigger monster. No, with claws. Whatever it is.
Totally.
And so we're in the sandbox, and he's giving me all this stuff, and I am, to answer this question, I'm using like everything I know from martial arts in these reads. And I have footage of it, and I'm literally going like
oh, that's awesome.
Trying not to hit the mic.
Right. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, but because I know, and it seems like, Vinny, why would you do that? They're not filming you. And it's like, no, but you're
got to put your body in it.
You have to put your body into it, because the character has a center of gravity. It comes just like Cynthia Erivo said when singing in the air as Elphaba in Wicked. When you sing, you need the ground to like align your body. You have to be grounded like a tree in the earth. That's why many acting schools and singing schools, the best drama schools, I think, train actors in visualization, in becoming rooted into the earth, and the light is shining out, and so you're standing tall and you're expanding wide, because on stage we have to.
Yeah,
it's a house of 1,500 or whatever the heck, or 12,000 I think is the most I've performed for. The Muni Outdoor Theater, the Muni in St. Louis, Missouri.
Nice.
So you have to like really expand your energy. Like it's just turned up. Your energy is so enhanced, which is more exhausting. And so you have to be able to like turn it down too. But like, yeah, so I was using my physicality to ensure in my brain I was being honest with the circumstance that Raiden was in, because a lot of them were taunts with different types of people that were opposite me. And so I wanted the effort and the attitude to be as realistic as I could. And I'm like, well, what's more realistic than like actually exerting myself, which I actually knew how to do, because I train in stick fighting all the time and action. And I know how to hook my arm, and I know how to block my face, but I also know how to open my position if the camera's on my face and we need a close-up in an action fight. But also all those things really helped me when I got into the booth. But to answer your question very basically, I just auditioned and they didn't tell me what the role was. And I think I really am grateful for my acting training. I train at the acting center, and they were training me to create characters and to just have confidence in building and developing them. Developing meaning try the idea and just keep trying it until you like the idea. So it's yours, but it's all based off of what they gave you. Yeah. It's always based on the text, which I remember just drilled into me in theater school, and you hear it all the time on set and with writers and executive producers and showrunners and casting directors. And so it just all kind of whirlwinded together. And that question actually brings us back to the other thing we were talking about. I teach this stuff. In my intensives and master classes. I literally want to give away this thousands and thousands of dollars, these thousands of hours that I took to learn and connect these disciplines together. I just want to give that to you. Yeah. I'll just give it to you.
It belongs in a museum, going back to Indiana Jones.
Oh! I remember the look on that kid's face. I remember when Harrison said it, there was something, because no, he really meant it. He was like, it belongs. There was a righteousness to that.
Yeah.
You saw the idealism in his character.
Totally.
It's for everyone. It's timeless. It represents something great from our history, and we should all be able to enjoy it. Like, that's one of the things that hooked me on Indiana Jones, honestly.
Same.
I think it was on purpose, man. Now that you said that, they were just trying to teach us to be more adventurous in life.
Yeah.
And to keep
searching and to be more open with each other, because that's how we all learn. Like, you don't, if the information isn't there, then somebody won't be inspired by that information because it's not there for them to be inspired by. And I will say one thing about, you were talking about like the differences between like acting and voice acting, and that there's no difference at the core of it. That's true. Right. I will say this, the main difference that I see is, yes, you're getting direction, but in acting, especially if you're opposite someone, unless it's like a one-man thing, or the one-person thing, you've got somebody to play, because half of acting is reacting. Well, in that case, you're acting both your part and the other person that you see. So you're acting for like 2 or 5 or 6 or however many people are in the scene with you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because
you see you see them and their motivation, and you're interpreting that to give yourself something to react to.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well said, my friend. And thank you. Because I'm sure other people were like, Vinny, you need to listen to Jamie because duh. Like,
no,
thanks, Jamie,
but
for saying that.
you're absolutely right with the core. I just wanted to add that bit of context.
Well, I agree with that context. The only thing I would add to that is part of playing pretend and rehearsing is not just what you say. It's what you're thinking as a character when that character is speaking to you. So some of us will not learn the other person's lines.
Right.
But it's not about learning their lines. It's really knowing what they're saying, like reading it and thinking about how your character is reacting to that and why they would say that, and having that thought as the character, and then looking at your line. What do you say? So it's like there's a step in there that I always bypassed as an actor. And it was just like, if I took all my dialogue out and I could say whatever I wanted, but the actor across from me was still in the same scene saying their lines, what would come out? And then it's like, okay, does what I said make sense for the character? Cool. But now what was written for me? And can I just use their words?
Right.
Instead of, but now you have more make believe, like you were saying, you kind of have to act as different people. But though in my head, I don't think that as acting as different people. I just add it to the play pretend I'm making. So, which is kind of fun, but it's also
totally
hard. Like that's an extra thing that is one of I think the hardest things about what we do. Cause like here, act with this tennis ball, or give us 3 reads of that line. But you only read me in for the beginning of it. And now the next 2, I'm saying just out of nowhere. And then there's another skill you develop, which is resetting yourself and going back to the moment before. And without anyone telling you, you look up 2 lines.
Yeah.
And you put yourself in that position and you read the lines as if you're there. And then until you get to your cue line, and now you can respond the way you would. So you give yourself a little more time to do another read. And that's a discipline too that takes 100%. Practice. And it's also, everyone has different ways of doing it, and so I'm respectful of that. I just became so pragmatic on what would help me get the most authentic result that would feel alive, so that the person listening to it, the director, the showrunner, the casting director would think, I want them to understand right away, I hear the character.
Yes.
I feel I feel where they're coming from. They have a very specific point of view. So like that kind of stuff is so important as an actor. And I'm still, honestly, Jamie, as someone who's a fellow like archivalist and teacher and giver of information, it's still overwhelming sometimes to think that I could even say these things, because I don't want it to come off as being boastful or egotistical or narcissistic. But to quickly say something about that, and then talk about A Normal Heart, because I see Kristen's character, Kristen's question. Hi, Kristen. There's crud. What was I saying? Sorry, ADHD.
I do the same thing. I call it etch-a-sketching, where like, you shake it and the sand is gone. That's what I call it. So I like,
sorry, I guess it wasn't meant to be.
No, well, I'll tell you, I'll say this. When you were talking about, that you don't want it to seem boastful, one of the reasons that I asked about like the black belt degrees and those kind of things is I look at it, I describe it to people, because you get to a certain level of understanding and you kind of work with that for a while, and then eventually something else just kind of opens up, almost before you understand it fully.
Yes.
And then you realize that, oh wait, I used to be looking at this and now I'm looking at this other thing. And it's like, it's a layer on a layer on a layer. And I don't know, this may not be a good analogy, but I look at it as almost like the next degree of, and it's like is there a perfection in anything? No, but we still push toward that because that helps us grow in ourselves. And so using that as a context to tell people about what it's like, well, this is my understanding at the moment, and maybe years down the road it'll grow beyond that, but that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, it's years of understanding. Absolutely. I think the degrees in the black belt system, because there are usually 10, are a great analogy for how we keep leveling up and creating new layers of understanding. And I'll even dare say, with understanding and repetition comes certainty, and uncertainty leads to confidence.
100%.
Where am I getting this information? Google it. I don't know. I told you who I listened to: Wayne Dyer, Michael Beckwith, Simon Sinek, Jim Quick. It's like Joe Dispenza. Like, these are even Dr. Jim Doty, head of manifesting psychology. And so, like, these are all the things that, like, I think help us believe in ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I think that's also what is kind of being fought for as artists. We're not saying that, but we're fighting for our ability to express our ideas. And when it comes to acting, I think the people who are in charge of hiring and creating stories and who gets cast in the parts that they write, I think that responsibility is, I want to make like the writers are like, I want to make sure I make something that is my favorite and that is mine and that represents what I think the show should be about. I want to hire writers who believe in that. I want actors who can live out those moments and who believe in it based on how they portray the character and how they develop it. I want to see how much they believe in the story and how much they understand. And that's what our auditions are. It's like, hey, here's a self-tape. Send me some ideas.
Right.
Or like, this is the character's like this. That's your jumping off point. Please give us a character that looks like that. But if you have other ideas, hey, you don't have to turn in just one take. So I do that. Because like, here are some ideas, or like, I don't know this casting office. Here's 3 takes of 2 scenes. You're like, oh, I know this casting office. It's like, oh, I think I know what they need, so I'm just going to give them 2 each because I think I know what they're looking for. And so, but that comes with time and developing that. It takes so much patience, which I think can add up to a level of confidence, which can lead you to moments like Kristen is asking about, doing a play on Zoom, specifically the play A Normal Heart, one of the greatest queer-centric plays, pivotal queer-centric plays ever, and to be cast in a role that is usually always played by a white person, but this version was reimagined based on the talent that was around us in that moment, and what that director, Paris Barclay, and what the producers of it wanted to see and wanted to share and wanted to say. So they asked me to play this part, a doctor who's closeted, and I've happened to play opposite Sterling K. Brown. No big deal. It's fine. It's like, whatever.
I love that.
Guys, gals, they, thems, everyone loves. It's wow, what happened? It was an amazing experience. It was very scary, Kristen, to answer your question, because oh man, you get in your head when you're with someone who you idolize and whose work is so inspiring. I remember, Kristen, feeling so nervous. I'd be even nervous rehearsing. Like, and I knew I had to rehearse mostly with my MacBook, just like this, because this is what it would be. And I did a few things over the pandemic like that, and I got pretty good at Zoom callbacks and good at doing performances. Like, I do musical performances where I have to be on a plane, and they'd choreograph us looking this way and then looking down at the same time. And they, Brady Bunch edit that stuff. So I was a part of stuff that was kind of technical online. And so I had a bit of that confidence, Jamie, but Kristen, like Kristen, you're asking about this because I assume you saw the cast. It was just these amazing actors. And so I was very intimidated. But later on, when I talked to Paris Barclay, he was so complimentary of my work, and that made me feel obviously a lot better, because even though I knew I was a good team player, because we rehearsed like 2 or 3 times outside of the reading, because there was a telephone scene that was very fast paced. And with Zoom, we noticed we couldn't get the pacing where we wanted it to get to. So we had to like really pick up a cue when you didn't even hear them finish the line yet type level of specificity. And I bought a fake phone so that I wouldn't have to do this.
Right.
But I bought a real phone cord that at the other end goes into your actual iPhone. So I got one.
I have one of those too.
Mine is collecting dust, Jamie.
So, Same. I used it. It was cheap plastic. I used it once, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds like garbage. I'm not doing that again."
Like this is it's a nice prop now. So it's like, so I could do things like this and like, because the behavior, like there's a whole environment happening around these characters, and we just wanted the frame to feel like those energies were pulling us in. At least that's what I wanted to create, because I know these things are kind of thrown together. There's not always a whole lot of rehearsal time. Even sometimes there's not a whole lot of prep, even though during this time we had all the time in the world. We had our own challenges to deal with when learning material for plays and stuff. But it was really amazing that the cast was incredible, and getting to work with different actors and just feel that pressure to, I'm going to say level up my game, but I'm going to equate it to something more specific because that's too vague. When I say level up my game, I mean take a larger bet and put it down, and I'm betting on me.
Yeah.
Because I'm with people who already bet that big on themselves, whether you think they're good or not, because art is subjective. You don't make it so they'll like it. No, you made it because you like it. Oh, they happen to like it. Oh, wow, a lot of people happen to like it. Like we've seen this happen all the time on TikTok and YouTube and social media. So it's not a surprise. Artists who get hired, they get rehired because the ideas they come up with are ones that really serve the stories that they're auditioning for. So creatives are like, I want to work with an actor who can bring my idea to life and who has ideas to add to my ideas because I love their ideas. Oh my gosh, what they did with that character was so cool. Oh, and then they did this one. Oh, and then they did the similar one, but they added this other thing. Oh my gosh, that was so fantastic. It just makes us excited. And so I think when you live as an inspired person, or in this case, an inspired artist that influences in a positive way your work, and therefore it has a higher influence and a bigger impact on the people, not only that you work with, but on the people who are watching the story you're in.
100%.
So Normal Heart, I think, was a great example of that. It was such a broad experience. It taught me so much, and it really made me scared, Kristen. But I'm glad I did it. And, I think it was recorded, so it's forever out there. And, as I say to my students and my friends, it's just another swing I took. I took a swing, I tried it. If I don't like it, I could have to teach this to my students. I'm like, if you don't like the way you look in the past, that's fine. Take notes as if you were a director, but then be a compassionate director and rewrite those notes to the actor, but as if that actor were you. Like, be nice to yourself. Like, what would you say? Like, you sucked. You'll never do that. No, it's just like, hey, you're a little pitchy up there. There's too much effort. You got to find ease up there. Okay, we didn't have enough breath there. Oh, that you didn't support that breath, and also you didn't earn the emotion, which means you didn't earn the breath, which means then you didn't hit the note. So, because there's all those technical things like, oh, you didn't hit the note because you didn't build emotionally within the singing properly. To get 100%. To that place, because that's how songs are written, beginning, middle, and end. Same thing with a movie. There's something like, it's a hero's journey. Something always goes wrong. World is established. Like all the rules, and then the hero or anti-hero, and then all the team players who are going to help that person, and then the ideal world, the problem. How it ruins the life, and then what the hero does, what are the allies, what are the obstacles they run into, and then what does it mean to them, and then they try to do it and they battle, and then there's a montage to like get better to fight the battle, then they fight the battle and they either win or lose, or usually they lose and they go into despair, and then heroes, it's the same. And when you know that, right, as an actor or as a singer or just as a storyteller, like it makes your job a little easier. And then you can or the way I think of it when it comes to acting, it's easier for you to decide who your version of a character is if you really just understand this genre. Who wrote it? Who's directing? Oh, who they cast already? Oh, you kind of already are imagining. Well, if it's J.J. Abrams, huh? If they're hiring, Robert Downey Jr., huh? Okay, Sterling K. Brown is in this. Okay, they have Meryl Streep in. Okay, all right. What is this? And it's shot and it's cinematography by this person who did Everything Everywhere All at Once. Oh wow! And A24 is doing it, dude. And now you're auditioning for this part. How should this part be played? And now you're like, oh my gosh, how is that? Like, you could be afraid, or you can be like, well, it's way easier for me to decide now because I have all these givens, these facts, and I know the structure of how stories are told. It's like, oh, this side's from page 20, this side's from page 60, this side's at the end of the movie at page 125. And now you know what's happening in the story, and you identify what your function is, how your character contributes. And I feel like that's the fun of being a performer. Ideally, because I also think there's times where it's not fun, y'all. Like,
it can be a slog.
It's a slug. Like, for artists, we want it to be fun, but sometimes it isn't. Just like all y'all who have jobs that aren't artistically based, you don't do it because they're fun. You do it because you got a degree or it's paying the bills, right? I think, though, ideally, it would be really cool if the 8 of those hours you spend making a living were not just spent working and making money. Because if you look at the time you spend sleeping, 8 hours, let's say, the time you spend eating 3 to 5 meals per day takes up a few, like probably 2 hours, if not more. And then you have time in the bathroom, just getting ready for your day, just showering, just decompressing, right? And then you have, so you're sleeping, eating, personal time, and then you need to spend time with your family, whatever that is for you. But at the end of the day, you really only have 4.5 hours once you cut out sleep and work, add work to that 8 hours. So you have 4.5 hours left. And so I figured if you're spending most of your day 8 hours a day working, it would be great if it was something for 8 hours a day that fueled you, that you really enjoyed, that you want to spend your time and your existence doing. So, just like I worked the survival jobs, I worked at Starbucks, and I just found the joy in it. And I pulled all these mad skills. Like, Jamie, I bet you could write a book on all the things you learned from your survival jobs and how I'm like, oh my God, that totally applies to this. Like, specialing a table. It's copy. I now learned copy. And now I'm doing it for a table. It's like, I'm looking at the table. Oh, he's having a steak knife. I have to mark that table. So it's the moment before, like you're thinking ahead, just like you would your prop before you enter act 2, scene 1. It's like, oh, remember, you have to put throat lozenges there because after it's very dry after you do that because of the fog in that scene. So it's like, this is what artists do. And so
it's all building life skills. I mean, that's true for almost anything that you do. And the key is finding things that even when it is a slog, that you still at the end of the day are happy that you went, or happy that you were there. But sometimes if you're not at that spot, you find other things that you're doing and you see where those things can apply to what you want to do. So when you get to that, when you get to that space, then you're like, that's just more wheelhouse stuff that you got in your head. It's more skills that you can pull from.
I mean, I feel like that's another book. That's another TED Talk I'm going to make. I have so many TED Talks in my head. I have one for college, like beginning college students in performing arts, and then ones that are leaving college to go off on their own, and then ones that are already in it, doing it. Like, I have specific things. I have general things I would give them, but I also have specific things. And one of the ones I'd be across the board is definitely how to leverage your survival jobs, and how ideally they, in many instances, they're not just one. And so when you do have a diverse palette of survival jobs, you can habit stack that, James Clear, Atomic Habits, habit stack that with what are the skills that I'm weak at, that I need to be better at in order to be an actor who can function as a one-person business. Headshots, resume, emails, postcards.
100%.
You temped an office. You were in charge of online orders at this bake shop. You were a PR manager for a sushi restaurant. You were a host and a server, so you had to learn both positions, and you had to be assistant manager at times because they would always step out. So we would have to learn how to stall and how to de-escalate things. Did anyone teach you those things? No. You're like, I'm just gonna take a swing.
Yep.
And you take the swing in the real world at the survival job, and then you book the musical or the play or the album or the long, the project, and now you're collaborating with other people, and all of a sudden there are these little synapses in your brain, these structures, these systems that you already have. And I think you'll naturally do them in your brain, but it would be cool if we just had more awareness of that's what we were doing. Like all my fellow actors out there, if you work at Starbucks, y'all better be learning how to be other people. Y'all better be learning how to multitask, memorizing recipes for the cups, like troubleshooting, thinking ahead, social relations management, also your energy level before work, after work, making sure you eat on time. Are you hydrated? Do you have a good relationship with your support system, your shift supervisor, your manager? Do you have a rapport with your cast, like the people you're working with? Do you have compassion and empathy for them? Because they're not perfect, but part of the reason why they're going to love working with you is because you give them space to be imperfect and to support them, which is no different than you would in a recording studio or on stage or on a set.
Yep. And it's something else this just popped into my head now is the thing about the survival jobs is when you're learning things in those, the one thing that might be good for people that are learning different skills and things to keep in mind during survival jobs is that those aren't necessarily, I guess, unless you either really screw up or do really, really well, they're not necessarily in front of a camera that's going to be seen by 1 million people. So that's a great time for experimentation. If you want to try out a personality type or something for a character or whatever, do that as the barista at Starbucks or the whatever. So that way you can then play with that and see how people react to that. And then you can have, you can think about those things. And I'll piggyback on something else that you had said that just popped in my head as well. Like you were saying about, put yourself in the director's chair and be good to yourself when you're doing it. I think it's especially when we're looking at any kind of criticism or not criticism, any kind of critique is not criticism, but critique is be specific. Like there's a difference between, I sucked just then versus I didn't get, like you were saying, like, I didn't get my breath right. I didn't earn, which meant I didn't earn it, with this didn't build and this didn't. So you look at those specific things, because if you just have this amorphous blob of it sucked, then there's nothing to poke at and improve on. Versus if you got specific notes, you're like, okay, I didn't do this. How do I work on that? What steps do I take to make that different? And that's I love the vibe of it. That's so good.
Oh yeah, like trying to tell a kid who's learning high jump or squats or long jump or whatever, like jump higher.
Yep.
They don't know how to jump. Like they don't know how to jump up for basketball. They don't know how to squat. They don't know how to send their hips back. You're saying jump higher. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Your jumping is horrible. Jump higher.
Yeah.
Teach them what a squat is. Like in dance, teach them what a plie is. Teach them how to extend through the foot. A lot of people can't even get on the balls of their feet in releve. They think that we're on our toes, and we're not.
Right.
But if you learned what that was, you would learn that you can push through your toes, which is exactly how ballet dancers get so much height off the ground. They're using the plie, which is what you see the knees parting, and they squeeze that together. And while they're squeezing that together, the heels are coming up. The heels are coming up.
Yep.
and the toes are last, and they're also pushing you off the ground, and the person is lifting with their chest and has their core engaged and is pushing down while they push up, because there's all this physics that are involved, and it's visualization. Like basketball players say all the time. And so these are all the is the word elusive, like invisible things that make what we do.
Perfect word.
But it's not perceived by the people who are not everyone who's learning stuff on social media or YouTube, because I do too. So I love it. I actually love it. I'm gonna put up more content soon on social media. I have a lot of things. I'm a speaker and a teacher, so I'm behind on things to post, but they're out there, and in terms of my ideas, and I look forward to sharing them, because I don't want to hold on to this on my own,
Totally. What's your so you've got a YouTube channel where you're putting these out, or?
Well, I mean, I'm still developing my YouTube channel. I actually have a production company called VR3 Productions Inc. My COO is thank you. Yeah, my COO is Don Mike Mendoza. He's been my manager in the Philippines, which is a new venture for me, is building my career out to the Philippines, adding modeling to my hyphenate. It sounds odd, but that's really that's the rebranding process I'm going through. Thank you, Matthew McConaughey, for saying the words that we dread as artists, because there's a lot of pretentiousness in what we do, and there's vanity, and it gets a bad rap, and it villainizes a quality that exists in our business, and that is actually one that people pay for. And so I'm no different than any other human being who struggles with doing my best, looking my best, presenting myself at my best, and navigating all the stuff that happens up here that is not really you. It's like the stuff you learned that you should probably unlearn, but not everyone knows how to do that.
Totally. Yeah.
And I'm like, I got my ADHD book over here. I got my gifted book. I got psychology. I'm like, okay, the 5 love languages. What's that? It's like, how to be more compassionate at work, or, like all these little lessons that exist that I think help us along, and ultimately like help us stay connected to not just each other, but ourselves. Because, you're only going to be so lucky in your lifetime to be a part of moments where you're really connected to you and what your joy is, what your love is. And the people who inspire that, your spouse, your friends, you could be your brother, your cousin. It doesn't have to be your blood family. For many, it's not. It's their chosen family. It's their basketball team. It's their rugby team. It's their gym crew. They go to gym together, and I love that. I see those pockets of people. Oh, we do marathons together. It's like, oh, we do pickleball on Thursday nights on the hump day. And I'm like, I love this so much, because I was a martial arts kid. I was in martial arts classes every night of the week. And on Saturdays, I was there from 10 to 2.
Yeah.
Doing martial arts, eating Little Caesars, doing martial arts. Or in high school, doing musicals, rehearsing. I was in jazz band. I was in marching band. I was a volunteer, service commissioner, we called them. And so if you're, I mean, many of us are very fortunate, but, maybe we just I encourage everyone to take a little stock. And like, if you're a part of something that really hits you on all these levels of feeling good and feeling connected and feeling like you're expressing yourself in such an honest way, I think that's one of the most beautiful things ever. And I am so grateful right now that I get to experience that with my original cast members of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend for 4 concerts starting next week in New York, Friday night and Saturday night. 2 weeks later, Friday, Saturday night here in LA, and then my hometown in San Francisco. We are going to do, I have the script. I looked it over today. It is so fun and so ridiculous. And it's just exactly what our other live shows were, and our 2 sold out nights for Radio City Music Hall were. We're just theater kids having the best time, the best joke, the funniest joke wins. Bits are welcomed, but also need to be nuanced and collaboratively created. Boundaries need to be made, rules need to be made, so we know what can be broken and what shouldn't be broken. And really just like letting yourself bask in that feeling of being connected to these people who just you feel connected to. Like you love them, you love singing with them, performing with them, making them laugh, them making you laugh. I get to live that. And I leave Tuesday for New York, and I'm still kind of processing it, to be honest, because it's been 10 years since the show wrapped. And so this is a big moment. And I'll be honest, I'm overwhelmed in a very extremely great way. But just because it's great doesn't mean I actually have the capacity to deal with that amount of whelm.
Yeah.
That's why we call it an overwhelm, not an under. That's a problem too. Not
right.
a whelm. It's not a whelm. No, it's an overage of whelm.
Right.
And
my whelm runneth over.
My whelm runneth over. It's too different.
Yeah,
totally. So so I'm excited because the fans are excited. Jamie, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend has some crazy fans. See what I did there? But we're really excited to see them and celebrate these songs because they mean so much to people who, were also battling with mental health issues, like our anti-hero Rebecca Bunch, who found out later she had BPD, but that's after she did these really horrific things to herself, to her friends, to her life, because she just wasn't coming from that healthy place. And thankfully, because of Rachel Bloom, who co-creator of Crazy X, and she executive producer of all the songs because she co-wrote all the songs, and like a head writer, she's in charge of the narrative, along with Aline Brosh McKenna, the Aline Brosh McKenna, the screenwriter for Devil Wears Prada, the most quotable movie of all time, especially in the LGBTQ community. So let's get that right. So Aline and Rachel led this universe and created such a dynamic group of energy, but also made sure there was always this through line of Rebecca's going to figure it out, and she's going to need her friends, and her friends are also figuring things out. Sound familiar? It's so relatable. So all these people, it's not just women who relate to Rebecca. I relate to Rebecca, and our musical TV show isn't just for musical theater fans. People who don't like musicals, men and women, they, thems, don't like musicals, they love Crazy Ex-Girlfriend because it's not.
That's awesome.
It's not just candy. It's not pop. It's pop with substance. It's these pills don't taste good, some of them, because we're dealing with real stuff. Like really bad personal mindsets, but we're also dealing with the ridiculousness of real life things, like trying to get ready for a date and hearing sexy getting ready song. It's a sexy getting ready song. And then going on a date and realizing that you gave your partner a UTI and then singing, I gave you a UTI, like it as an Elvis song. Like who does that? Why would you do that? Why would you? There's another song called We Should Definitely Not Have Sex Right Now.
I love that.
Guess what happens during the song? And we're singing it.
I wonder.
We should definitely not have sex right now. Song. It feels so good to be having sex right now. During the song. We really shouldn't have had sex right now. That's not really the last lyric. Sorry, Rachel, if you're listening. I wasn't prepared for that one. But I'm glad, I'm grateful to be here and get to share some of the joy about my own life and about art with you and all the things I'm doing outside of acting and stuff, because it really matters to me. And I think Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was just, I got so spoiled. I have been ridiculously spoiled. Extraordinarily spoiled by Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. The people, the writing, the story, the meaning, the fans who have come up to us and said how much it means to them, and some who have actually admitted to us, at times awkwardly, but honestly and so authentically, like the only reason why they're still alive is because of our show.
Wow.
And to hear that, I mean, I'm sure it's true for many people and many types of art or things that inspire people to have that, get that, the will to live, the will to go on, the faith, the courage, the bravery. Our show had that, and the viewers felt it and saw themselves and believed that it could be better and it could change, and it did. And now they're seeing us live at the stage door after the show, and they're from like some other country, cool. And they flew here from, it feels really good and is kind of unbelievable. And at the same time, I just, radical acceptance. Like,
totally.
it is what it is. I still have to pack. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
And I had to pack costumes, guys. I gotta pack some weapons. I won't say what. I don't want to give it away.
Right.
I gotta pack wigs. I'm just kidding. I don't have a wig. But I have a wardrobe. I have a wardrobe to put together for the concert in New York.
Gesundheit. No.
I was just gonna try to add everything.
No. It's just.
But thanks so much for having me. This is so cool.
It's been such a joy talking with you. And if I have one small piece of advice for this,
please.
how many days are you doing this? 5 days, you said?
The show, or how long am I in New York?
No, how many days of the show do you have?
It's Friday in New York. It'll be Friday, Saturday night, and we have an all-day rehearsal the day before, so Thursday, and then I have like press on Wednesday. And so my marathon isn't quite a marathon, but Jamie, if y'all could see my calendar, I planned when I nap. I planned when I go to the gym. I plan when I buy food. I'm eating every 2 to 2.5 hours, because I know what happens when you get creative and you start getting really excited about something. That blood sugar drops.
Yeah.
You're burning so much energy, being pumped, warming up your voice, singing, ideating, feeling joy, moving your body, sweating, just feeling that life in you. And so was that going to be your advice? Like, take care of yourself and pace yourself?
But also because, and I understand, because like on October 2nd, I leave for Denmark for 5 days. So I definitely know, but like,
what's the time change?
It's crazy. But yeah, I have 2 concerts. I have 2 concerts over in Denmark, and then I come back, and then I prep for Christmas shows in November and all this kind of stuff. But what I was going to say is, since this is 10 years and you're seeing folks that you haven't seen in a while and everything else, like, take battery packs as much as you can, film everything that you can, because these are memories that you're gonna cherish. And I mean, I'm only 2 years older than you, but like, but like, there's so many things that I was like, oh God, I wish I'd have filmed that, because then it'd be so much fun to look back on, even if I never look, just to know that it's there. If there's a moment where we're like, what did that feel like? And then you watch that and you're right back in it for a second. It's a great experience. So I
100%. I agree with you now, and I agreed with you 8 years ago when I joined the cast of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and I filled my phone with photos and videos of 4 years, to the point where I had a wrap poster, and I guess I'll finish on this. I gave them like a big poster as a wrap gift, and I made it very specific. So it's a dock, and then the ocean, and like sunshine. And so I had a big 2, 0, 1, and a 9. And then above here, I had a little note saying, "To my dearest company of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend." And I said a lot of nice things and poured my heart out. And I said, I started the show not doing TV and film, and never having started anything. And I kind of had to learn from scratch. So after our 4 years together, I think I affectionately refer to being a part of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend as my 4-year degree in TV, filming television from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So cheers to the class of 2019. Thanks for the memories. When you look at the 2, there's photos. Every photo that's in the 2 is from season 1. Every photo that's in the 0 is from season 2. Every photo that's in the 1 is from season 3. Every photo in the 9 is season 4. And then above that, you can see kind of like those paintings where you have to blur your eyes to see what the image is. You kind of see that in the background. And I told them what it was. It's in a little note. It's actually right here. I said, I told them what everything represents. And then I said, the faint black background is my favorite part. Those are actual quotes from our fans about how much Crazy Ex-Girlfriend has meant to them the past 4 years.
Oh.
I wanted you guys to be able to look at this poster and smile, remembering how much fun we had together, creating this amazing piece of art that had such a positive effect on our fans all over the world. I will forever be grateful to our creators, Rachel Bloom and Lean Brush McKenna, for creating this world and bringing all of us together to bring it to life. I love you all, and I will miss you so very much until we meet again. You're Josh Chan, Vincent Rodriguez III. So
beautiful.
That was my wrap gift.
Perfect.
And it came with a PDF. That was 64 pages long from the fans of them answering that question. What does Crazy Ex-Girlfriend mean to them, and why are they going to miss it? Like so good. And because I wanted them to be able to open it and like just a stranger. Just like you need to
feel it.
You don't know their name. There's no personal information. Yeah. It's just the pure joy from strangers who saw this show and who followed me on social media and saw me ask this question. My assistant had to go through so many messages, but it was beautiful. And I got to create this little document. And so to be celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the show and celebrating it by doing another live concert. Yeah. Like, we're gonna dance a little bit and we're gonna sing our songs and we're gonna improvise and do a show for you. And it's gonna be alive. You're gonna be like, things will happen in that show that will not happen for the rest of the shows. There might even be guests, wink, that will not be at other shows. There might be jokes that we alter because that audience was saying this at us or doing this, or those the people in the front row are wearing this costume from this number from Crazy X instead of this guy because they come dressed up. You know,
that's so good.
As our various music video numbers. Yeah, we have over 157 original songs and dances. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Yeah, so Kat Burns, our Emmy Award-winning choreographer, she choreographed all of our numbers and she hired amazing associate choreographers. So we have all the genres of dance, the most amazing dancers in LA, all diverse in age range and ethnicity. You know, we just really upped the representation. And so, like I said, I'm just very grateful to be a part of it and to be celebrating it in this way. And I will be clearing more space off my phone so that I can just keep annoyingly taking selfies. So that I have content. No, it's not just content. It's I wanna share like that. My YouTube channel is gonna have a lot of different things in it. It's gonna have footage from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend that you've never seen. I have even videos of, like, because I also work out, and my trainer Eric the trainer is a celebrity trainer, and he transformed bodies for comic book universes like Jason Momoa and all these different, action people, and these leading men. And so he taught me how to do that and have all these videos of training with him and what I learned and the technique of how I exercised and videos of me and how I cooked and how I ate. And so I have this like passion for obviously fun musical comedy, but there's this, and you have it too. It's just this incessant need to give back and just kind of to contribute, like just you want to give back because like people helped us get here. Well, now we want to pay it forward. Yep,
it's building the community, and in the wider and wider the community gets, the more. Yeah, exactly.
We all win. We all win.
Yep.
We all right, win. Indiana Jones. It belongs in a museum.
It does. It all does. Vincent Rodriguez III, thank you. Vinny, thank you. This has been an absolute pleasure and a joy, and I look forward to speaking with you again, hopefully soon. This is just lovely.
Goodbye, everybody.
Otherworldly Fundraising is a group of friends who decided to use our nerdy talents to help others. Our charity this year is Options Save Lives, which helps individuals fully recover from alcohol use disorder. Thank you for joining us this weekend and for donating to this worthy charity.